Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Draft Day Sports College Basketball. This is episode number 31. We have reached the visitation period, so we are going to go for those in-home visits and see if we can't get any recruits. Let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, thanks to the assistant coach, I have made a lot of progress. We have 16 players on our call list, and a majority, 9, 10 of them, are cool. They have developed interest, and we only started with a couple, 2 or 3 from this list that had interest when we first started. We've also limited that list a little bit. All of those 1-star outside of the 2 that already had interest and were inside the top 900. Outside of those, we're looking at 2 stars or better. We're looking at mostly players that are ranked a lot higher than some of the guys that we have seen in the past. Their overall ratings, all of them are a B- or better, but only a few of them are a B or better. So there is a bit of a gap there, and that's where we're going to look. Now, we have one of those all-time great players. No, not really. Not all-time great, but would be all-time great for our program in the 25th ranked overall, 5th best power forward in the entire nation, Jonathan Fox, which is a local kid. Now, he is not one of the ones we've developed some interest in, but at the top end, we've only got a couple guys that we've offered scholarships on, and I've got 2 more slots to go. So I was thinking maybe we add in a Walter Reed, which point guards are always good, and that's 2 JC transfers, so they should be a bit more developed than some of the other players we would potentially get after. That's our 3 scholarship offers, and then our fourth visit, spend it on Jonathan Fox and see if we can't get him going on interest. If we don't immediately, we know there's going to be no chance with this player, so we would move on probably to cutting him for week number 2. No decisions for or against in the first week. What do we have here? Walter Reed, good visit. Corsi, and not a good one. Fall, visit went well. That's 2. Jonathan Fox, that was the big one. And no, he's a no. So we'll move on from Fox. Never saw much of a chance grabbing a player that good. He would make Darius Q look like a toddler playing basketball. So Jonathan Fox is quite the elite athlete. We're not at that stage yet. But 2 out of 4 positives. That's a good start. Week number 2, and we do have a decision. It is also Walter Reed, who liked us last week. Let's start with the visit. He was impressed. So that's twice in a row he's been impressed by us. But he's going to Oregon State. He was impressed by them too. They were probably pitching the same thing that I was. Higher reputation. That makes sense. We tried Corsi again, and just still not happening. So 0 for 2 on Corsi, which means we will move on to somebody else. We moved from Fox to Cunningham, the number 2 guy on the list, and he doesn't care for us either. Ryan Fall, meanwhile, is still happy. So we've made progress. Well, we made progress with 2 players, but one of them signed with somebody else. We made progress with 1 player, and I think we'll be moving on to other candidates. And Ryan Fall is definitely liking us quite a bit here. We're still not on the top of his list, though. Still only number 3 for what we see as a 4-star guy. Small forward, B- overall. Good defense, good all around. Not a great rebounder. Not great at the free throw line, but otherwise fairly good for our level. And yeah, he cares about location, and we're recruiting that well. He's just outside of the top 100. This would be a pretty solid player for our team. Let's hope we can keep bumping him up that list, and maybe get him signed in the next week or 2. So I moved on to 3 new 3-star candidates, plus Ryan Fall. His home visit went really well, and his decision, and he's picked us. Okay, we got one. We've got one so far. One of the ones I've moved on to, Takaki, has already picked somebody. The visit did go well, but he's going to Oregon. I think we were a little too late to the party on that one. That leaves us Cummings and McMillan. Cummings does not want to play for us. McMillan. Okay, McMillan was a good visit. So we do have one new target here, it looks like. And I think I have one more week of contact remaining. Here's how our list looks now. So Fox has signed with Notre Dame, of all places. Fall with us inside the top 100 now at 88. That is such a steal for us. 4-star guy at junior college, so he's going to come in at that 4-star, right? He's not coming in needing a couple years to develop and then having bad coaching and poor facilities to not develop very well. He's going to come in at the top end of his game with 2, maybe 3 years left of eligibility. So that's a great grab for us. But Cunningham, Corsi aren't interested, so we've moved on from them, though they have not signed with anybody. Walter Reed, of course, liked us, but he went to Oregon State. Feaster, we never got a chance to go after, but he has picked UW. Takaki, who we just went after, liked us, but picked Oregon. Cummings did not like us. That's one of the ones we just talked to. And McMillan is the one that I just unlocked. He was not interested, but after that successful visit, he is now cool on us. So let's go ahead and offer him a scholarship. Cummings will go ahead and revoke his, as he doesn't like us. And that'll give me one more target. Maybe Moses Keys. 2-star guy, but he's looking okay. Maybe I need to look through my list here. New target, Penders, liked us. Tried Cummings again, still doesn't like us. McMillan, again, really positive. And new target, Keys, does not like us. At the bottom end, Richard Forrest has gone to Utah. Lane is going to Portland, University of Portland, and Utah Valley State for Askew. McMillan is up to warm, and we have climbed all the way up to number 3 on his list. My prediction is we will get McMillan. We have Fall, and then that should be it. We do have one remaining scholarship, Moses Keys. Didn't like us and does now, so maybe we end up getting him as well and actually get all 3 out of recruitment for a change. That would be a different year. Now, of course, if we have anybody transfer out, we would still be active in the transfer portal, but could be that we're going to get 3 guys this year. So here's what the sub-matrix looks like for this season, or at least for the start of the season. I have made some moves in terms of who's playing and where they are playing. So Geyer at point and getting the most minutes of anybody, because there's a huge gap between him and our backup point guard, Mike Harris. Mike Harris, I think when we get a little further evaluation, Mike Harris won't be as bad. He is one of my transfers, but he came in really poor, 0.5 star, 1.5 potential, a few very blank, very generic attributes that I'm looking at going, you know what, I think once we've seen this guy a little bit more, we're going to see that rating evolve. But even then, he might and probably is still only a 1 to 1.5 star type talent and not a very good backup point guard at all. So all I'm giving him is garbage time, which means I have to figure out what to do with point guard. And I have 2 candidates. That's Love and Robinson. That is for 2 reasons. The combination of handling and passing, which both of them is a huge step back from Geyer, but is tolerable, and their intelligence and athleticism. The combination of those 2. Robinson is ahead in everything but athleticism, and I was going to give him those point guard minutes, but I decided that William Love as another guard is a little more capable of handling it, so I gave those minutes to Love, despite the athleticism being the only kind of gap. It's everything else is 1 or 2 points behind for Love, and then plus 20 on athleticism. I mean, it's a huge gap. So anyway, Love is going to play point guard part of the time. He's got 30 minutes overall, and his backup, well, his backup is McPherson. McPherson's getting just 4 minutes. McPherson is just 1.5 stars, and McPherson is the weakest defender other than the bottom three. So we're only giving him 4 minutes. Archie is going to take a lot of those leftover shooting guard minutes. That puts him at 30. Robinson, because of the ball handling, I've gone ahead and given him 4 minutes at shooting guard, so helping pick up the slack there. He's getting 28 minutes overall. I'd like to give him that 30, but we are very deep at power forward and center. And Robinson, the bulk of his minutes instead of at small forward are going to be at power forward. He has the size. He's big enough to play the position. Plus, he's really good rebounding. I think he's actually more suited to power forward than small forward. And that gets us Archie on, which I think Archie ended up shooting. No, I think Archie did play a bit of shooting guard last year, kind of like he's doing now. Bit of a hybrid on that one. A lot of the backup minutes are going to Wheel, but I have so much depth at the post and depth that is similar to each other that I've kind of spread those minutes out. So Wheel has 10, all at power forward. Stetson, bumped to the bench. He was a starter a year ago, is mixed at power forward and center. And then Thomas, we're giving 4 minutes to, plus garbage time. And Hammond, former starter, getting 4 minutes is all. So sucks for him, but he's never, that's one of the guys we recruited. He's never turned into much of a player. And Hold, the transfer, that last transfer we got that was too good to pass up on, who was Conference R Player of the Year. He's coming in as a 3.5-star guy kind of guy, but he's getting just 26 minutes at the moment. But I think that'll help keep him out of foul trouble as much as anything. And with all that quality behind him trying to steal some minutes, at least early in the season, we'll be fine spreading that around a little bit for those two guys getting slightly less in terms of minutes. But I think they're set to do pretty dang well. This starting five is good. This is a good starting five. And there's a bit of depth behind them, especially with Johnson getting a lot of minutes. Johnson was one of those guys who did pretty good. He was Conference Q, all first team. Sucks to be him on that part. Hopefully we don't turn around and lose him because we don't give him starters minutes, but getting 20 a night, hopefully we'll keep him happy. And it's the season opener. The opponent, Emmitsburg. I'm not sure if that one is set in correctly. I have not had a chance yet for this season to go through and at least fix my current conference and make sure that everybody's appropriate. But we're off to a quick start here, 5-2 on the lead. But a quick turnover led to a transition bucket that gave them a chance to get right back in the game. And it's now 7-6. Not too worried about this game. The opponent, Emmitsburg, is about 4 divisions above us. But that's just about close enough that being the home team, we should still be favored here. And according to the scouting report, we are favored pretty heavily. But we'll see how we actually perform as a team. Right now, it is a little bit of a lead, but we're starting to pull away a little bit. It's 15-10, but that could all change in a hurry. 5 points is not much of an advantage. In terms of early rebounds, we are +2. Turnovers +1. Now equal. Shooting has been strong for us, 7 for 9 from the field here early on, while they are 4 for 12. So defensively, we are making life difficult. My entire starting five is good on defense and are 4 out of the 5 best defenders that we have on the roster. And then the majority of those players getting minutes are among the better defenders. We don't have the entire squad there where we want them to be. A couple of those transfers don't look great defending, but you could see that strength in defending. We've played 12 minutes and given up just 14 points. Meanwhile, scoring 26 is good, but it's not a great number. and it was enough for at least temporarily a 12-point lead, though back-to-back buckets, including a 3, has closed that gap a little bit. This would be kind of the time to use a little timeout, but we scored, and maybe not necessary. Back to a 10-point game. We have a little momentum going, so yeah, not the time you want to take a timeout. Offensive rebound there and giving us another chance on this one. Quick little transition there leads to the 3. Transition as in a not proper transition. What's the word I'm looking for? A little decoy play that led to somebody else. Point guard made just a little move and somebody else quickly cut into the point guard's trailing into his position, and the kickback turned into an easy 3 for somebody else besides the point guard. 36-26. They certainly steadied themselves, but we are hanging on to just about a 10-point lead here. And with just a little bit of time here, we'll want to take a timeout after this play. 10 seconds. And we got the bucket before the half, and it's 41-28. That little bit extra helps. The rebounding, we're behind by a little bit. We're not doing so great there. They've got 19, we've got 14, so we're -5. Assists are equal. Steals, that's something we've been doing really well with that good defense and our ability to steal. Turnovers, +5, so we're looking good in a lot of different areas. Three-pointers, 33%, but they're just 1 for 6. Free throws, 5 for 8, 7 for 10. Neither team getting to the line a whole lot. We've had 3 additional shots compared to them, but we've made 4 more. 51%. They're at 42. Looking good. Looking good here in the first half. And you can see that starting 5 is where most of that plus-minus, but even the guys that are getting the minutes here are looking fairly decent. Second half underway. Let's see if we can continue on with that trend of giving up just over 1 point per minute. So if we can finish this game at about 50-55 points for them, well, that would obviously be enough because we already have 48, now 50. I think we're going to get past 55, aren't we? They have made their last couple buckets, though, so defense still has some work to do. Playing that high post right now, but they are in a man-to-man, so we're not finding a lot of space, and we're not screening with that high post. That's a lot of off-ball movement. It's hard to create a shot. That high post is going to be more effective against a zone than it is against a man-to-man. But the lead now at 21, so we've stretched it even further as we limit their scoring. We've already played 7 minutes this half, and they've had 7 points. So that ratio of just over 1 point per minute, we're doing slightly better than that here so far in the second half. We were behind on the rebounds, but we have caught up. Level at 18 now. 10 steals for us, plus 5 blocks. So last season we were getting plenty of steals, but we were not getting blocks. Now this could be a lot to do with the opponent, but we do have 5 blocks today, or maybe it's the new players that we have in are more capable of getting blocks, and that's giving us yet a greater advantage. And you can see it in the turnovers. We're not ahead by a lot, but we're ahead by enough. And we were at 50% from the field a moment ago. It was 20 from 40, right back to it now, 21-42, where they're 16 of 38. So we haven't had that many extra shots, but we're 10% better from the field than they are. 1 out of every 10 shots more so going in than what they're getting is making a pretty healthy difference. They are getting to the free throw line quite a bit, but they are shooting so poorly, just 10 of 24, where we are 12 of 16 from the line. Too many things going our way that we are not just winning here, but we are just about blowing them out with 4 minutes to go. Starters are still in for the moment. I would expect to see that change here quite soon. I think we have at least 4 players, if not more than that, that are in double digits in this game. We'll take a look at the box score very briefly after to see where the team ended up, where the scores were. But Love, 14 points, 4 assists, 5 of 10 from the field. Now we've got the garbage time. Final minute, 25-point lead. Can we get it back to 25 as they cut it to 24? We do with a three-pointer there. Nice. I think that was McPherson. Robinson, Archie both had 10. Hold just 6 points for him, but it was only 5 attempts. He did have 4 rebounds and was a plus 16. Not quite as strong of a day from him compared to others. Geyer plus 24, but he had 13 points. Love had 14 points, so 4 out of 5 starters in double digits. And then Johnson off the bench made it 5. So 5 players in double digit. Very well spread on the scoring. The most attempts from anyone was Love with 10. Everybody else keeping it down. Johnson mostly 3-pointers. Geyer had mostly 3-point attempts. Love not great from 3, but was good from 2. Nobody had a bad day shooting free throws. Rebounds were spread out. Johnson had 8 in his 22 minutes. Wheel played nearly as much as Hold did. 1 fewer shot, same number of field goals. Definitely less rebounds from Wheel. You would expect that he would have had more than that, but otherwise he played well. No big turnover concerns. Love had a few, but I think we're going to see that a bit this season with him playing point guard and it not really being his position. All right, folks, prediction time. I think we are going to gain promotion yet again this season, and here's why I think that. We got most of the starters back, if not all. While it was a little hit and miss on the transfer portal, we got enough quality in, I'd say 3 guys in particular, that made this team stronger. I'd say we have 6 very good players that should win us a lot of games. The combination of defense that those 6 and support players offer is going to be enough. I do worry about this bottom end, but starting from Wheel up, we're looking at 3, 6, 8 players. And those 8 have the bulk of the minutes. Thomas, just a little bit. Hammond, just a little bit. Hammond was a starter last year, right? Was he? No, he was the backup, but he played some significant minutes last year, didn't he? And more than what Thomas and Hammond get combined this season. So you're looking at the 8 guys playing can all defend. Geyer has a 59. We got 3 players just behind that, average of a 50 between the 3 of them. There's some quality. The ball handling of this group. Only one, Stetson, is going to turn the ball over very often. Passing, same. Stetson, Wheel, Johnson, they're fairly low. They'll turn the ball over a bit from poor passes. Blocking, Geyer's not going to block anybody. Stetson's not going to really block anyone. And there's part of your thing. Stetson was a starter last year, I think, right? And he wasn't getting any blocks. He can defend, but he wasn't getting any blocks. Rebounding from this group. Stetson, Wheel, not much of rebounders. Geyer's going to get some as a point guard. Compared to other point guards, he's probably going to get more than other guys around him. And, the rest of the group is like 30 to 40. So we have some quality, some for our level. We have some quality in a lot of places. The intelligence, the IQ is high in the group, other than Stetson, Hold, Wheel are, in the mid-40s. But where there is some weakness in this top 8, there's a lot of quality. There is a lot of quality in this top 8. So there's enough there to eat up most of the minutes without any weakness in defense, to create a lot of steals, a lot more blocks than a year ago. This is a team that's better than last year's team. I still don't know if we're on par with the year before, where we were just lights out and we went all the way to the Sweet 16. I wouldn't be surprised if we make the tournament this year. We made it last year, but that was somewhat of a fluke. I mean, we were third, fourth best. And we just happened to have the right schedule and beat that right team in triple overtime that put us through to not only get that promotion, but win the league and get to the tournament. This year's team, I think, is better than that team. Therefore, with only one division higher and still being pretty dang low, I think we'll do fairly well. Will it be automatic promotion as in top 3? Sure. I'd go that far and say yes. I think we're going to get a top 3, get automatic promotion. Will it be enough to be in first place? Will it be enough to win the league tournament? I don't know. I don't know until we really start getting into it. But with those predictions now in place, let me speed things up by about, let's say, 6 or 8 games and do a quick check-in then. The conference itself is actually a lot of teams looking pretty good right now. We're at that 5 to 6 game played stage right now. Grambling State is 5-0. Coppin State 5-1. Teaneck is undefeated at 4-0 so far. Now, Grambling have played all 5 games at home. Coppin State 4-1 at home. Teaneck 2-0 here and there. We are 2-0 at home, 2-2 on the road, 4-2 overall, and we have had some tougher matchups. Our net right now is 4th best in the conference, but South Carolina, upstate, looking good. Again, North DC, Bethune-Cookman, Central Connecticut, and even Bronx. We're all 3-3. We're all 500 or better, which is not something you would normally see. Now, there are some teams that are already struggling mightily and a few that are struggling a little bit. So you would look at those and go, yeah, they're probably going to struggle in the league as well. Some of these teams up here look good right now, but like, say, Bethune-Cookman, even though they're 3-2, they're 3-0 at home. They have not won on the road, and their net is still one of the worst. So chances are they had some really, really easy opponents in those 3 games. Here's how we have fared in those games individually. Of course, we beat Emmitsburg by blowout, and then we went on the road to Indiana State, won by 23 points. That's a blowout. We only gave up 43 points on the road in that game. But then we played on the road at Washington State. Big-time opponent, a team not far outside of the top 25 in the rankings, very, very easily, very comfortably a top 50 team. And we only lost 57-64. You look at that one and go, you know what? That's not bad. It's not bad. Northern Arizona, 11-point victory at home. It's the closest home game we've had. Northwestern State, 24 blowout on the road. On the road, we beat them by 24. Boston State, okay, we didn't get that one, but it was on the road. We lost by 14, but that's not a blowout. That's not like the other games. So you look at this and go, yeah, 3 blowouts in our favor, 1 close loss, and only one win comfortably and 1 loss comfortably. You look at that and go, yeah, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. And I think we're going to fare well in the games to come. Looking at the opponents for the remaining non-conference games, you would think we're probably going to win 4 out of 5. Maybe better, but 4 out of 5 seems pretty probable. I figured we could get at least 4-1 because the opposition just didn't look that great, and we did better than that. We got 5-0. We only had 1 even remotely close game, well, maybe 2. Rhode Island, we beat by 11. Lafayette, on the road, we beat by 11. Still double digits. And then total blowouts against Florida International, so FIU, Massachusetts Lowell, and Portland State, our rival. We beat them by 43 points. That brings us up to a whopping 9-2. as we go to enter conference play. Looking at that one and a 114 net ranking, I'm going to say it's looking to be a pretty good season. Now, of course, conference play is a totally different animal. So let's now check in on how everybody's looking. Charleston Southern have not won a game. McNeese State, Riverside Baptist, those three, expect them to struggle mightily. Low RPI as well, but not very many home games through that stretch. New Jersey Tech, 3-3 at home, but 4-7 overall. Low RPI all the way up through here. That then brings you to 6-5 Bethune-Cookman, but that was 4-0 at home, 180 for a net. I would expect that they'll provide a challenge, but not be terribly tough. Teaneck, who started off really strong, 4-0 at home, 3-0 at home, whatever it was when we saw it last. They're at 7-5 overall. In fact, everybody else 7-4, 6-5. A lot of teams at that 7-4, 6-5. Some of them with good net rankings, some of them not so much. Most of them playing a lot of home games, getting almost all those wins at home. Coppin State 3-3 on the road. There's a team that can play. That's about it. So what I would expect here is that North DC might be fairly decent because they have a high net. Grambling, 7-0 at home, but 0-4 on the road. They might have a high net right now, and they might be difficult to beat when we go on the road against them, if we go on the road against them. But otherwise, I think we should comfortably get that top 3, top 4 in the conference this season. The non-conference, if it's any indication, yeah, we look really good. Perfect 6-0 at home. Not one of those games closer than a 10-point victory. And most of them 20 to 30-point victories, 40-point victories. Even on the road, where we were 3-2, we look dangerous. Our plus-minus on the road is quite good. No blowouts suffered. A couple fairly close losses. Is it against programs in much higher conferences than ourselves? I'm really happy with where we're at right now. And yeah, we're looking good heading into the conference schedule. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.